But right now, game number 2 is going to be getting underway. We're going to find out if RDU is going to have to play the same style game or if he's made some adjustments. Because right now, I don't think Muzzy can do anything in this game.
I played a game against Priest once where they made like a 26-26 with inner fire, and I just attacked it with the fiery war axe.
You just Sudoku.
Well, I mean, I took 26 and executed it, and then tried to win the game from there. But
Muzzy, that was a revenge in his opening hand, by the way. So this is Control Warrior, and I can tell you what, against Rogue, this is one of the better matchups for Muzzy.
yeah, you don't want to see this when you're on the RDU side or the Rogue side in general. They can gain so much life in this matchup that it's really hard for you to win.
Yeah, the other thing they have too is that they have super efficient ways to deal with your minions. I mean, one of the things that Rogue is always trying to do is stick a minion to the board and then punish you for not having an answer. But when your answers are twofold what normal answers are, like Wrath, for instance, only going to kill 1 minion. Deathbite, it's killing 2.
Yeah, and then Fiery War Axe just matches up so well against the Rogue deck. That's actually one of the biggest problems in this matchup is the fact that, yeah, one of their best, cheapest, and most common removal spells just kills almost everything in your deck.
Now, RDU going to get on the board early here, and if Muzzy draws Fiery War Axe, this game could get very ugly. But right now, doesn't have an effective way to check this SI7 agent.
Yeah, not yet. But, ooh,
well,
there we go.
There's step number 1. This is like safe to use here because you know, Rogue doesn't typically play a ton of high-profile threats. So anytime that you're getting this kind of value, it ends up working out for you. Again, just wanting to kill what they're doing.
Yeah, no, you mentioned what the Rogue deck needs to do in general is, you know, leave a minion on the board. They need to have it stay there for a turn to win. The way it wins this matchup, you have to get huge tempo swings. There's going to be a turn where, you know, he gets to play a Loatheb, maybe sap a giant minion from Muzzy, and Muzzy just has to replay another minion out of his deck, and then RDU gets initiative back. That is the way that he's going to win these games going forward. It is hard to do, though.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, this game, he's not going to have it anytime soon. Deathbite from Muzzy, and just going to continue to chip away. And RDU's in a spot where he's got 1 minion left.
Yeah, he's got 1 minion left, and it's Loatheb. It's not something, you know, it's a good minion on turn 5, but you really wanted to have one of those, you know, turns where you get to play Loatheb and kind of strand, you know, executes in Muzzy's hands and really try to push from there. So it's going to be rough. He's just going to run this Blood Mage out there. Doesn't mind if he gets killed because, you know, he gets to pick up an extra card and he's just okay with that.
Yeah, the spell damage is not the important factor in this game. In this one, it's just something on the board that the Warrior has to deal with. Just happens to be that Muzzy so far has had all the right answers.
Yeah, he's going to get to play an Acolyte of Pain this turn as well and get to, you know, pick up a ton of extra cards if he wants to. Well, it looks like he might not because he might not want to attack with his Deathbite.
Yeah, I mean, this, again, the fact that it's challenging future threats is really where he wants to be. Every single turn he gets to armor up, he's making ground in the game. Or RDU's the one who's got to get something done, not Muzzy.
Yeah, as long as Muzzy can, he's going to armor up every single turn of the game for the rest of the game, because if he gets to something like 50 or 60, it's almost impossible for RDU to kill him from there.
And that sounds like a high life total, but this deck can very easily do it.
It's something that happens very commonly in this matchup too if you don't have a super fast or efficient start out of the Rogue deck.
Yep. RDU even understands though that damage matters a lot. He's just going to keep swinging with his weapon. Does also keep him a little bit out of, you know, maybe some splash hate from Harrison Jones. And the fact that this piloted Shredder has come down after this Deathbite means that the Death Rattle is not going to be hitting the second minion, but it also means that Sylvanas will always steal something when he dies now.
Yeah, big spot here for Muzzy. You see him being really patient with this Deathbite. He's going to wait for just the right moment to unleash this in this matchup. Yep. It's going to be pretty good against this Violet teacher as well. Maybe RDU's rethinking that because of the Deathbite still in play.
Now, I don't really think he's got much of an option, though. You know, he has to make something happen. And if he can start getting repetitive damage from the piloted Shredder, that's perfect for him.
Yeah, and this is one of the turns that I was talking about earlier. This is a good tempo turn here from RDU. He's going to get some damage in. He's going to get some minions in play. Gets to sap the Sylvanas, and the initiative is back on Muzzy here.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly how he plays this one, though, because he has got a ton of strong options right now.
What do you think of Brawl this turn?
I don't think Brawl's bad here, but, you know, Brawl's certainly kind of scary, too.
I mean, yeah, you get to, you know, generally clean up whatever comes out of the piloted Shredder going forward from here, and then you put the onus back on RDU to have another minion to deal with you going forward from here. But then you just get to answer with Sylvanas next turn and a hero power again.
I mean, the fact that he's seen a sap and is still at 29, he may feel this is the one turn he can replace Sylvanas again. The problem with that is with RDU has a second sap, he's just gonna get run out of the game. So I think the Acolyte is just a much safer play in this regard. The Execute will deal with the first half of this, and then maybe it spits out at 1 health.
Yeah, if it spits out a 1 health minion here, it's going to be really bad for him, but it does not. Spits out. Ooh, he's going to actually get aggressive with this Cool Task here. I like this here.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all either. You know, just picking up extra cards. With the way his hand is so heavy right now, he could just use some extra utility.
Yeah, and if, you know, RDU, it does let RDU have a couple of cards to kill his Acolyte of Painter, but he gets another card off of it. Yeah, you can use a Fan of Knives. You can use your weapon here. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't think that Muzzy's really concerned with that at all. In fact, every point of damage that gets invested into the board, I think he's very happy with.
Yeah, RDU is going to prep this Phantom Knives here, just cycling a card here for free.
Now, it does give Muzzy a card, though, at the same time. This is going to be Lotheb, and this is really his one turn to make a push in this game. He's got to capitalize on this, because if it doesn't happen, he's not going to be able to capitalize at all.
Absolutely. As we said, he needs these big tempo swing turns, something like Lotheb with another minion. If he can get back to...
Nope, not this turn.
Yeah, if he can get back to his turn, you know, if RDU can get back to his turn with one of these minions in play, he can maybe start getting some stuff going here.
Yeah, this is sort of a tricky spot, too. I mean, now that RDU's down to 4 cards, are you still fearing Sap? You've just seen one. You know, Sylvanas does not look like a bad play here, but nor does Deathbite.
Yeah, you have Deathbite, you have Sylvanas, you have to armor up with both of them.
You have Grommash. I don't think Grommash is bad here either. You know, again, Grommash is not the win condition in this deck anymore. It's just there to pull heat away, basically. If he gets a 10 power minion on board, RDU can't just let that keep hitting him.
Yeah, things like Grommash and Ysera are actually pretty hard for RDU to answer going forward. You know, they're big minions that only Sap really takes care of. It's going to be hard for him to get a giant enough Blade Flurry to take care of these.
Yeah, I love the Grom here, too. This just puts a ton of pressure on RDU to be able to answer it. You know, he's not often going to have 7 damage found in his hand, but he does have a second sap. Yeah. But this is also sort of the benefit of playing Grom here now. If Grom gets sapped, it already got a little bit of value for you, and it was in a Lotheb turn.
Yeah, I mean, the minion has charge as well, so it always gets, you know, value the turn it comes into play, but it puts the onus on RDU to have to do so much this turn. You've already seen one sap, so the chances of having another one are very low. You know, he does have it, but as you said, it's like almost like, you know, who cares?
Yeah, the 2 Blade Flurries is really what's killing him in this one. You know, need some more card draw effects, need more minions to add to the board. It looks like he's just going to have to... Is he pushing for damage here, or is
he's turning up the heat.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
this is all going upstairs.
He can't afford to trade minions here. He doesn't have enough resources left after this to keep going, so he's going to put Muzzy down to 14, sap this Grom. I have to believe he's going to sap this Grom.
I mean, there's a chance he doesn't. If it attacks into Lotheb, he does get a better Blade Flurry turn. Also, but you have to occupy mana at some point. Now that he uses the sap, though, he's got to be fearing something like Sludge Belcher. I mean, there's so many things that can just turn this game right now.
Back Pain added for Muzzy here. Doesn't have something like Sludge Belcher. That would be back-breaking from here, but RDU still in this game, finding ways to get in damage, you know?
Honestly, something else Muzzy could do here is if he feels like at the 10 damage on board, like say RDU doesn't have an Eviscerate in this spot, he could Alex and set up lethal next turn also. I don't think it's what he's going to do. I think he's going to try to answer this board state, but I think there is a pretty decent argument for Alex Raza.
No, I could definitely see that just get really aggressive in RDU. He's down to 2 cards, and it felt like last turn was kind of like, you know, this is it. This is what I have. Let's just see if it's good enough.
Yeah, he's going to be using Deathbite here. That's a lot of damage to be taking right now.
He's going to be able to armor up and shield him and take care of this entire board. This is actually run RDU completely out of resources now. No more threats left for RDU.
I like this play a little bit better because, you know, the other way he's giving up to Tinker Sharpsword Oil. He's giving up to Eviscerate. He's giving up to, you know, something as simple as Cold Blood. Not that that's cards very frequently run, but, you know, a Sprint could pick up any one of those cards and get this game done. So I like that he's making a defensive play here. And then once again, RDU, you know, fortunate enough to pick up a minion, but he's still got to deal 8 more damage right now.
And it's going to be hard to find this 8 damage going forward. You know the Grom is sitting in Muzzy's hand. It's going to be able to Grom. Oh, Sludge Belcher picked up even a great one here. He can even Grom and Hero Power turn, or he gets Sludge Belcher and use the Deathbite to clear the way.
I think this is an Alex Straza self-turn with Deathbite, and then Alex Straza put you back up to 15. RDU's got 1 card left to deal 15 damage. I mean, where's it coming from?
Yeah, I mean, his hand has just seemed bad the last couple of turns. He pushed with everything that he had, and it didn't work out. So I think the Alex Straza is a great play here, as you said. It just sets up such a clean turn for the next couple of games, for the rest of the game, and it puts you back up to 15.
And it puts an 8/8 on board.
Oh yeah, you get the 8/8 body.
Yeah, forget about that one. So I just, you know, this is the nature of this matchup. If Muzzy draws the answers, RDU runs out of gas.
Yeah, as I said, it's really hard for the Rogue deck to win here. You have to have these big tempo swings, and you saw him do it once or twice in the game, and it still just wasn't enough.
Yep. So RDU, I mean, Sprint needs to be basically the very next draw. Well, Backstab is, that's a dead draw. He needs that one a lot earlier. But, you know, he's not going to give up. He's still got a couple turns. You know, maybe if he draws that Sprint, he can pick up like maybe 2 Eviscerates or something and put together a lot of damage.
Now, Muzzy, you want to get this game over with as quickly as possible here.
I mean, I think you just put the Sludge Belcher down. I mean, now this is just one more thing he's got to deal with before he's able to push damage onto you, and you're making ground on him with the hero power.
Anti-kill that picked up is going to buy him an extra turn here.
Not what he wants, though. Needs some actual action to be put in his hand. Wow, Armor Smith drawn. Just going to put him further out of reach at this point. I don't see a single way RDU actually starts stepping back into this game now.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for him to get back in this game. Now, if Muzzy wants, he can Armor Smith plus Grom this turn, swing for half of RDU's life total, and just, you know, put lethal pressure on board as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to serve the same purpose it did earlier, though. It's going to take out this anti-heal bot and buy him the right time. Could even trade in the Acolyte here. I don't have a problem with trading an Acolyte. Just build armor, pick up another card. But do you need anything right now? I mean, look at what RDU's got to deal with.
There's no cards that he needs, and the one thing of armor, I don't think RDU with 3 cards can do 17 to you. So
yeah, there's just no way. So just going to attack in here and you know, play what he has, and it's just not going to be enough this game. Muzzy's going to take a 2-0 lead now over RDU. We've been seeing some pretty massive leads this week.
Some massive leads, some early and big plays from these guys, just almost just pure blowouts in these matchups. Great queue-ups from these guys, just dismantling what their opponents are queuing up.
Yeah, it seems like one of the guys knows something the other one doesn't in a lot of these games so far. And right now, Muzzy is sitting on top of the world. Look at the board state.
It feels like to me that, you know, when you get the better end of the queue-ups in the match, it's all been on one side. It's been snowballing out of control. Once someone gets that first good queue-up, they just get the second one and the third one to match after that, and these matches are ending very quickly.